Employees have rights that independent contractors don't. So make sure you're classified properly and get all the rights you deserve. If you've been misclassified, you think that you're an employee and not an independent contractor, let us know in the comments. So why do businesses benefit from classifying workers as independent contractors versus employees? Well, the main reason is it's much cheaper to hire independent contractors than they are employees. With independent contractors, businesses don't have to pay as many taxes. They don't have to pay benefits. They also have the flexibility of just stop assigning work to the independent contractor. Whereas in an employee relationship, there's more taxes involved. There's sometimes benefits involved. Oftentimes they have to give equipment to the employee. And so all those kind of things add up. But the reason that employers generally like to use independent contractors versus employees is just because it gives them more profit.
Why does misclassification matter in Washington state? Well, it matters because businesses that misclassify workers can face a lot of penalties. Generally, they're trying to do it to be on the cheap. And the problem is that they can face a lot of penalties and legal liability if they're caught. And so, for example, the IRS and Washington Department of Revenue, L&I, et cetera, they're going to want to get their due from misclassifying the workers. Obviously, if you're an employee and you've been misclassified as an independent contractor, you're owed money, particularly if you've been working more than 40 hours a week. And so you should be entitled to your fair share of what that is, whether it's unemployment benefits, et cetera. And then finally, it's important to note that businesses that are doing this are gaining an unfair competitive advantage over other businesses that are properly classifying their workers as employees.
So if you think that you should be an employee and you've been classified as an independent contractor, we call that misclassification. And if you think that you've been misclassified, you have a couple options. One is you can go to a competent lawyer that knows how to do this. Our practice focuses on understanding the nuances between employees and independent contractors. Or you can also go to the Washington State Labor and Industries.
One thing to keep in mind that will help both the State Department of Labor and Industries as well as an attorney is if you document exactly what are your job duties, what kind of control the business has over what you do, and then, of course, the contract that they're paying, the basis for the contractual relationship, and then, of course, the amount of money that they've paid you to date. What is an independent contractor? An independent contractor is contracted to perform work for another business, and that's different than an employee. Basically, an independent contractor is in business for themselves, as opposed to an employee who's working on behalf of an employer.
So what makes an independent contractor different than an employee? Well, imagine like if you're an employee, you're working for just one company. But where you're an independent contractor, you're kind of like your own business entity. Like you get to decide kind of what tasks you want to do and how you want to get those done. You get assigned tasks and you get to choose how to get those done. You get to have more independence in terms of your control over your own workspace, when you want to work, how you want to work. You also have financial control over your own business. For instance, you can work for company A and also work for company B. So where an employee works for one person, an independent contractor is its own business entity, somebody that just kind of can freelance and work for whoever they want. And while they're given tasks, they are oftentimes have control on how to get those tasks done.
And just a quick clarification, it's possible to work for two or more employers at the same time. Is that right?
That's right. You can work for two or more employers at the same time and still be an employee. But as an independent contractor, your employer probably cannot make you only work for them.